Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. As we're now in 2018, I thought it a good time to take a look ahead and see what is coming to the game for the rest of this year. Now there are some significant updates planned for 2018, some of which are going to be released in Q1, whilst many others are coming in a larger update to be released in Q4 of this year. There are also a number of things that haven't yet been announced, which I may take a speculative guess at. Now the updates for this year are collectively called Beyond. The first update, as I say, is coming in Q1, and based on the time frame of previous year's updates, I'm personally expecting to see the Q1 update arrive around March, but that of course is just a guess. At any rate, let's now take a look at what we can expect to see in the first update of this year. First up is trading. Now trading really should be one of the largest aspects of Elite, and in fact it's a central aspect to many space games out there for decades now. In 2018, Elite is getting an overhaul of the current trading system, and as it stands right now, trading exists as a form of moving products from A to B, whilst buying low and selling high. However, the game really does lack any real tools to make this a truly satisfying system. With this in mind, the availability of trade information is going to be expanded to better allow players to make informed decisions about trading. There's a number of ways that this data could potentially be displayed. For example, it may be viewable in the station services or in an overhauled commodities market. It's also possible that this information will instead be viewable in the galaxy map. However it works though, an update to the trade system is very welcome, and on a personal level I would love to see it take on tones of the original trade concept art. The wing system has been in the game for nearly 2 years now, and in the next few months Frontier will be releasing a long asked for update, the availability of wing missions. This has the potential to massively expand upon the cooperative aspects of the game, whilst offering players challenging missions that they may not otherwise be able to complete on their own. It's also one of the first steps of working towards greater multiplayer functionality that will be expanded upon in the fourth quarter of this year. The Elite Galaxy is filled with various stories and events. However, this information is something players often struggle to locate. This problem is a problem that Frontier will be tackling in a number of ways, with some changes coming in the Q4 update, and I'm going to talk about those later in the video. In the Q1 update, however, Frontier will be releasing GalNet audio, which will allow players to listen to GalNet whilst flying their ship. From what we have seen so far on this, it would seem that this update will literally read the GalNet text to players. However, there is also room for huge potential with this, including narrative-driven story elements or even dynamic updates delivered directly into the player's cockpit. Sticking with the subject of story and narrative, the Elite Dangerous story has been unfolding in the background ever since day one. However, for the first few years, much of that was confined to GalNet and lore updates. 2017 brought the Thargoids front and centre, whilst 2016 touched on aspects of another alien race known as the Guardians. In 2018, the story of the Guardians will continue. In addition to this, Frontier will be giving players what they are terming as a personal narrative. When they announced this, they also showed a number of weapons which appear to have Guardian-themed coloration, so it seems likely that both the personal narrative and the Guardian story could be connected. We all love new ships, and 2018 is going to be offering a few of them, at least 2, but based on hints and rumours, likely to be more. The 2 ships Frontier have announced are the Chieftain and the Crate. The Crate is already well known as it featured in the original game. The new version takes some styling from the original, but is also very much a new ship. The focus of this ship is unknown, but it has been confirmed to be a medium-sized ship. The Chieftain is an original ship designed for Elite Dangerous, and this is going to be an Alliance ship, which is great because right now the only ship the Alliance have had involvement with is the Type 10. The Chieftain really is a fantastic looking design, so just have a look at this here. Planetary landing arrived all the way back in 2015, and straight off the bat had some wonderful looking worlds. Over the years, these worlds have changed. In some cases, the surface details have been dramatically improved. In other cases, the overall design and feel of the planets has taken a change for the worse. However, in Q1 this is going to be revisited with new shader updates. Early screenshots show the new planets to have a far greater variety of colour and also show improved terrain details. This is the first step in planetary improvements, with a far larger update coming in the fourth quarter of this year. Crime and Punishment is getting an overhaul with a number of changes aimed at changing the way crime is handled within the game. Now this is going to take on a number of different faces, and we'll have a look at each of these in turn. The first is detention facilities. So players who are wanted or are hostile would respawn at a detention facility. They're not going to be able to leave these locations until they pay off both their bounties or their legal costs. There's going to be new rules for respawning, and this is going to affect where your ship will actually respawn, and your location of respawn will depend upon how your ship was destroyed. So if you are wanted or hostile, then you will respawn at the nearest detention facility. If you are not hostile or wanted, you will instead respawn at the nearest station in the system. If there's not any starports or stations nearby, however, then you will respawn at the last docked location. Friendly fire is going to be dialed down in order to help reduce instances of friendly fire, and that should essentially help avoid unintended bounties, keeping you out of those detention facilities. There's new rules for bounties and fines. Bounties will be applied to a ship instead of the player, and this will make your ship hot. Both bounties and fines will never expire, and ships that are hot will have restrictions and reduced services when docked. You will, however, be able to pay off both your bounties as well as fines at the relevant offices. There's also going to be improved security ships, and these are going to be significantly buffed. Engineering is also going to get a substantial change in the Q1 update. Much of this is still in active discussion on the Elite Forum, so I won't go into too many details here. However, as a bullet point list, these are some of the concepts that are going to change. Secondary effects are going to be removed. These are the roles you sometimes get that occasionally downgrade your module or on the odd occasion upgrade it. Experimental effects are going to be applied to all modules and weapons now. There's going to be changes to pinned blueprints. Basically, you'll be able to pin one blueprint from every engineer as you can currently. However, every blueprint you do have pinned, you'll be able to craft anywhere in the galaxy that has an outfitting screen. The way we store material is also going to change. Currently there's a total limit of 1,000 pieces for material or 500 pieces of data. What's going to happen instead is that there will be a per material limit, and this will be set initially at 100. Also, to help with some of the more rarer crafting, there's going to be a materials trader, and this will allow you to trade in some of your common materials for some of the more rare ones. There's also a few more changes in the pipeline for the engineers, but I'll go into more details on these in a future video once more information is available on them. So that essentially brings us up to everything that we know is going to be released in Q1. It's also likely there's going to be a whole bunch of quality of life updates in the patch, as there often is in most updates. There's also then going to be 2 smaller updates in the middle of the year, and as yet we have no idea what these are going to be. The biggest update though is coming in the fourth quarter of the year. This will cover quite a few different subjects, and we'll have a look at these right now. Exploration is going to get a much needed and long overdue improvement. There'll be a new range of tools along with things to find and discover. The things players will find will affect other areas of the game, such as commodities and missions. So basically, at long last, it seems that many areas of the game will finally be tied together. There's also going to be new phenomena to find out there, as well as new anomalies. A new codex is going to be the second part of making the game more accessible, as well as offering up information to players. In addition to this, it will effectively create a journal, as well as a log of activities. This will include things such as exploration discoveries, as well as offer hints on other things to find and do. In essence then, it will be an ever-expanding encyclopedia. Player groups are going to be getting new organisational tools in the form of squadrons. This should essentially make player squadrons full-on guilds or clans, with all the associated functionality for hierarchy and membership management. It's quite possible that this will have a profound impact on the game overall, making all multiplayer aspects much smoother and easier to deal with. Fleet carriers are going to be an extension for squadrons that will allow players to purchase their very own fleet carrier. Now this is going to be a huge ship. We don't know what the design of these look like yet. It's possible they may just be megaships. It's also possible they may take a completely different form. Now carriers of course are going to be dockable, potentially allowing you to store a fleet of ships. They will also offer a number of other functions such as repairing, refueling as well as rearming. Like trading, mining is very limited in the current game. However, this will change with the Q4 update. The way players extract and gather minerals and other resources will change with a bunch of new tools for the job being made available. Along with this, mining will start to carry far greater rewards, but also a greater risk the further players travel into deep space. The principle here will be to make mining a fully fledged career. Graphics are going to be taking a massive change with an improvement to the game's lighting model. This will not only affect Planetary services, but also everything else within the game. This update has been spoken about previously, but only in very sparse details. From available information then, this new system will impact many areas of the game, including either removing or improving the artificial light changes when approaching the dark side of planets. But the lighting improvements not going to just be for planets of course, it will be for every other area of the game as well. The second stage of planetary improvements will be arriving in this same update, and these will include a number of service updates such as improvements to the rock system by adding a greater variety of sizes and styles to the rocks. It's also going to add other planetary phenomena as well as volumetric effects such as vapor. So 2018 does have a lot of content planned. Everything covered so far in this video will be completely free to Horizons owners. However, it has also been confirmed that there will be paid content releasing this year. How much of a significant update the paid content is likely to be is still a complete mystery, yet we do know Frontier have confirmed they are moving away from the season model, yet at the same time they are certainly going to be continuing to expand the game. And based on what we've heard so far, this isn't just going to be limited to the Beyond updates we've so far discussed. So here, I'll speculate a bit and talk about what I would like to see and hope to see in 2018. So first off, Frontier have confirmed that walking around or space legs will not be a part of the 2018 update. However, they have conspicuously and very interestingly not said the same thing about atmospheric planets. The improvement to planetary tech during 2018 would suggest that planets are not being left alone, far from it in fact, and the stages of development that have so far been announced follow the iterative pattern of Frontier's development of the game. So with that in mind, I wouldn't at all be surprised to see atmospheric landings arriving towards the end of the year as a paid update. Pure speculation of course, but indications seem to be heading in that direction. Another potential update for paid content could be the opening of currently permit-locked sectors of space. For example, the Cold 70 sector is completely inaccessible, and there are theories that they could be the home of Thargoids. For anyone who's ever visited that area of Barnard's Loop, you'll know it's a very beautiful location and would be ideally suited to the home of aliens, along with of course their own space stations as well as bases. So then, whilst we have absolutely no idea what paid content is going to be for next year, it does have the potential to be very interesting. So then, that just about covers everything we currently know for 2018 and Elite Dangerous. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.